make life a lot easier for me as a police officer, where on a daily basis you give me your criticism, to give me your compliments, and I think that really causes us or drives our policing efforts and our policing plan and our policing energy in Soufrière. Let me say good morning to my staff at the Soufrière Police Station, a team of officers who, although they get the criticism, I could say, on a daily basis, go out to do the little that they do and to keep Soufrière, crime free as possible and to reduce the amount of crime and violence that we have in that neck of the woods. So let me say good morning to my Sergeant Mark. Let me say good morning to my supervisors of the various shifts, Corporal Poshi, Corporal Anthony, Corporal Shalry, Corporal Isidore. Let me say a fantastic good morning to you guys. Thank you very much for all the fantastic work you have been doing. And this weekend, it will be a challenging weekend for you because we all know it's a busy weekend for us all, and we are about to host our annual Soufrière Jazz. So I ask everyone to be on the best behavior, and let my staff for you to be at your best this weekend. Let me say good morning to my cleaner at the Soufrière Police Station, Mr. Alsey, who I would say, sometimes we don't show up enough appreciation to those persons, but they are the ones who make the working environment livable, and his contribution is very important to me, and I want to say good morning to him. Let me say good morning to my team at Choiseul. Sergeant Smith, good morning to you and your team, Corporal Pascal, Sergeant Sonia, when you promoted Sergeant, who's Sergeant Tony, she's at Choiseul now. A fantastic good morning to you. And again, to everyone in Choiseul, I am the inspector, not only for Soufrière, but Choiseul. So at the end of the day, I want, even though I'm more, at the Soufrière office, I still want you to know that my office, I have an open door policy, and at any point in time, you can contact me and highlight your concerns and your criticism. Tonight, Choiseul is also hosting the Choiseul Jazz, and, they have a good little lineup, so for those persons out there, the Choiseul is just the line tonight, but Soufrière is the ultimate destination because I think Soufrière is on course to take over the main stage jazz event. I think we're going to give main stage jazz, that kind of competition. Let me say good morning to my folks on the waterfront, those people who interact with me on a daily basis, Bunker St. Lucia, Miss Donnelly. Let me say good morning to you, the staff at Ruby's gas station, the staff at the Soufrière Foundation, Mr. Purpey, and all those, and Miss George, all those persons who make it happen at the foundation, the wardens. Danny, good morning to you. Let me say a fantastic good morning to Mr. Gustav. I know today we will be hosting the opening of our first duty-free liquor store in Soufrière. So for you guys who are out there who needs to get your liquor at the duty-free, make sure you have a ticket though. You could go to the waterfront, dockside, Michael Gustav Place. There today will be the official opening of that duty-free liquor store. Let me say good morning to Ryan Riviere and to my to Father, the warden at the Soufrière Jetty. Let me say good morning to Gromag Zone and my good buddy Dennis. Let me say a fantastic good morning to him. Good morning, Dennis, and how are you guys doing? Good morning, everyone. And today, like I said, it's an exciting educational show, and our job today is to educate and sensitize you on the weekend, what's going to happen, how it's going to impact you, and how it's going to benefit you, and how it's going to impact Soufrière overall. And today I have with me, and I feel so good today because normally I see on my TV, as that big PR officer, I used to work with one of the prime radio TV station, and now she's here with me representing Soufrière Events Management Organization, SEMO. So with me, I have no other than
Jade Brown.
Good morning, Miss Brown. I
Good
have Miss Jade
morning.
Brown with me this morning, and she now will be giving you a little insight. We'll be discussing Soufrière Jazz, the ultimate experience, what is in store for each and every one of you, and how the activity will impact Soufrière both positively and from a traffic management perspective. How it may temporarily inconvenience you. And it is our job to educate and sensitize everyone, because we don't want that at the 11th hour when you have made all your plans, you decide to pass somewhere, and then boom, you are stopped by a traffic officer and told that you cannot pass it. So this is what we are going to do today, educate and sensitize you on Soufrière Jazz, both from a promotional and a security and traffic management perspective. So good morning, Ms. Brown, and welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Inspector Rennie. Good morning to you, and good morning to your wonderful listeners on 88.5 Soufrière FM, people in the environs, people listening in Radio Land as well. Guys, good morning to you. And I'm so excited to be here today. We are only 2 days away from the biggest event in Soufrière. And that, of course, is Soufrière Jazz. That, of course, is Soufrière Jazz. Soufrière Jazz is going to be an exceptional event as per usual. We have literally put everything that we can possibly do together to ensure that this event is bigger, it is better, it is safer in all ways and means. We're working together with the stakeholders, which include, of course, the Royal St. Lucia Police Force, who have come on strong with us. From what we know, there will be over 50 police officers on ground. So, to the people who send messages to us asking about the safety of the event, the safety of their vehicles, I know we're going to get into that, Inspector. But I know that Inspector has a lot of information for you as it pertains to that. But just to touch on the event itself, Soufrière Jazz this year, we will have 9 artists, which include 4 bands on one stage. And that is, of course, at the Soufrière Mini Stadium. The event starts at 2 p.m. and we're imploring everyone to come to the stadium early, come to the event early. That way you get parking that is closer, you get to, relax, take in the atmosphere and really enjoy the event. When I said 9 artists, that includes Busy Signal, it includes Farmer Nappy and Kowinduwa out of Trinidad and Tobago. Of course, Busy Signal is out of Jamaica. It also includes T Vice. T Vice is an incredible band, and we are happy to be welcoming them in. They will be bringing that Kopa, that Kadas, that Zouk experience to the people of Soufrière. And I know many people, particularly those of a certain demographic and a certain age group, they grew up or they know about T-Vice. So they're looking forward to seeing T-Vice on that stage. We will never ever forget about our local artists. Our local artists are very important to us. They really bring something special. And what it does is, when we bring international artists and then they see the level of our local artists, these local artists then get opportunities to perform within the region at different carnivals, different music festivals, and that is just wonderful for them. So, of course, on Sunday, we have Arthur Ale. Arthur Ale is a son of the soil. He did not perform with us last year. He was with us the year before. So we want Arthur Ale with us every single year. And I know that the public will never, ever disagree. But yes, so Arthur is with us once again, our king. And speaking of kings, we're bringing another one, and that would be Sly the artist. Sly is a patriot, if you could ever name one. This man is really passionate about music, about community, just about giving back, and it really is felt in his music. So we're looking forward to welcoming him to Soufrière once again. He's a regular for us. And of course, we have DYP, we have MTX Band. Now, MTX Band is a local band, and I mean, everybody is familiar with MTX by now. And I just really think, in my media rounds, in going to, the Hot FM and the MBC, and people might not know about them. When I describe MTX, I really put my all into it. And it's because I believe that they're so incredibly talented. Yeah. And they're very humble young men. But when they play the music, they put it in a way that you haven't heard before.
Yeah, the energy.
Yes.
When you have MTX and DYP on a stage on one night,
yes,
you expect excitement, you expect energy.
exactly.
MTX, I have been to a few shows where they have performed.
Yes.
I'm quite impressed with the level of energy for such a young man.
Yes.
The level of energy. So, yeah, so it looks like we're in for a fantastic night.
Fantastic indeed. Yeah.
Wow, you have said quite a bit in
Yeah.
a short space of time. And what surprised me was, how Miss Brown, have read my security plan, and it seemed to be on point and know exactly, the security details. And that is fun. That's good. That's good. It shows that as the PR officer for CIMO, that you want to let the public know, that, hey, everything will be okay on that night. And, we try our best every year when we host events like Jazz and Carnival to really, have a massive police presence
Mhm.
because we believe the patrons have paid, good monies to come to those events and they want to come there to enjoy themselves. They don't want the unnecessary fights. They don't want the robberies, the theft, and that is why we have put together a security and traffic plan that we believe is sufficient. And I could tell you quite a bit of work went into the preparation of that plan, because you have to do your risk and threat assessment and look at, hey, the security environment of the country really, what are our major threats, what are our major concerns, and that is what we did. We really analyzed it, and we have taken police officers from all across the island, from your ordinary traffic officer, to your normal beat and patrol officers, and then to our SSU and tactical officers from up north. So we will have a good balance of presence and force. But we don't anticipate that we'll be using any force on that day. We believe everybody will be coming to have a fantastic night and enjoy
Yes, hopefully.
themselves. So that is why we always send out a message to those persons who are bent, because for some reason there always seems to be someone who is bent on creating problem. Tell me why you want to leave your house and come to Jazz with a gun. Why do you want to come there with a knife if you came to enjoy yourself?
Exactly.
So our police presence will be significant this year. And last year we had approximately 40 officers last year. And post after you do the post jazz analysis, we said no, we were nowhere close to.
Right.
And as a result, we have increased it by 10 more.
Yes.
Because we believe, from a security perspective, because what I've observed when we host events, that the stadium is a tricky place to manage from a security perspective, given its size, given the number of access points. Um, but what we have realized in the past is traditionally when we host event, the focus is so much more on the inside
Right.
that we pay very little attention on the outer perimeters. And fellas and persons are left to their own device outside,
Yes.
right? Because they're not affecting the main event, right? Then now we don't focus too much on them, and those are the persons who now create the problem. Those are the ones who will target,
It's true.
the innocent persons and break into your car and then try to rob you.
Yeah.
So what we have done is place special emphasis on the outer perimeter of the stadium this year.
Okay.
We will have a team, and I'll be having the black sport from Castries coming down.
Excellent. Excellent.
And
So-
their job is to now ensure that the outer perimeters remain secure. We will, and we will harass those persons who are not there to attend to jazz. If you're not there for jazz, why are you there?
Right.
And the last time I checked, loitering in the criminal code is a criminal offense. You must have a purpose to be somewhere. As much as it's your constitutional right to, your freedom to associate and to be, anywhere, but you must have a reason why you're there.
Exactly.
And if you're there to create problems, we are going to engage you. We are going to engage you and ask you, hey, why are you there? Are you going to be participating in your activity, or are you there to create problem? What do you have on your person? What are you carrying? So yes, so that will be the one of the primary focus of our activity on Sunday, is to not only focus on the inner perimeter but the outer perimeters, those weak areas, those weak points where persons profit the opportunity to try to scale through the fence or cut through the fence, damaging the fence.
Yes.
Which is irritating. Just because you don't want to pay, to enter, you cut the fence and try to come into the facility with your knife and with your gun and with your, So we will be paying very close attention to that. I could tell you, we have gone above and beyond to not just have surveillance from just the ground level. We'll have it from all levels, and I try not to go into details,
Right.
and expose the strategy that we'll be deploying. But I could tell you from all areas we'll be having the various types and levels of surveillance to be able to identify persons who are bent on creating problems. So,
Okay.
I look forward to because I am passionate about my job. When I do my
Yeah,
work,
I can see that.
it gives me that rush, that
Yes.
hype when I do my work. So, I'm so looking forward to see how everything falls out. Because just like you guys with SIMO, when you are planning and preparing, you look forward to the final event and see how everything falls out, how everything plays out, and then there is that little bit of nervousness. Is
Yes.
everything gonna fall in place? Is everything gonna happen?
We're
For us,
anxious right now.
from us, the security perspective is the same thing.
Okay.
Because you can never predict what will happen on that day.
True.
There are always situations that they are so dynamic, that you may have this tweak stuff on the day. But quite a bit has gone into the security plan
Right.
for that activity. And now it's about testing it and see, hey,
Yes.
is that the ideal for our future jazz events? Do we need
Yes.
to tweak it next year? There will always be little tweaks, but is it the model that we want to use for future jazz, future activities at the stadium? So
Yeah.
this is what the plan is. So I look forward to that to
Yes.
see how everything pans out, how everything works out.
And Super Jazz is so big right now. I mean, it's a massive event. And even when our Minister for Tourism, our National Security ministers, and even our own parliamentary representative, when they come to the mini stadium and they really look at it, they're like, okay, this is huge. This is almost on, yes, main stage. Yeah, main stage level. So we always want to ensure that we create an event that is safe, and because Super Jazz is also geared at the family, we encourage people to bring their loved ones, bring their moms, bring their grandparents, their children. Kids under 10 go free. We have the kids zone, so we want to ensure that people are always feeling like safe, and it is a time for them to unwind. So once they scope out the premises and they realize, okay, there's a heavy police presence, so I'm safe, so I can relax. My child is at the kids zone, I'm supervising, I can relax. That kind of thing is very important. But I think one of the questions that we kept on getting would be the time in terms of security. Like, what time would we expect to start seeing the police presence on the ground in the town and whatnot?
So from the police spectrum, from my security plan, the event is expected to start between 2 and 3. We have to be there way before. So I have told my team that they need to be there between 12:45 and 1.
Okay.
To be there, we need to secure our VIPs, because what we don't want in our VIP parking areas, and we have 3 areas designated for VIP on that day. And the first area is the southern end of the mini stadium.
That's right.
Persons will be allowed in there. There will be a police officer coordinating entry and traffic and parking in there. That now, when that becomes exhausted and it's filled, we're going to move to the super primary school yard.
Okay.
There will also be police officers there, providing security for your vehicles and guiding you. But you must show your officers your VIP pass,
Right.
so that they now can allow you in. Right. And the third area is the Super Infant School Yard,
Okay.
special ed yard, which is a very large yard. Because and it's important that this happens, because when you have sold a VIP package to persons with parking arrangements included, people expect when they come that they're going to get parking. So, and I've seen it in other events where, hey, they sell the very parking in the very package. However, because they didn't make all accommodations for parking, persons come and they're really upset. And that alone could change your taste towards the event.
Right.
That, hey, you have to go and find your own parking. And one thing about Super parking is a challenge in Super.
Yes.
So it really creates that, level of distaste when persons cannot get that parking. So the good thing is SEMO has factored that. They have engaged the stakeholders, the Ministry of Education and the District Education Office, to use the extra space that will be available. It's our job now to have the law enforcement personnel there to ensure that people's vehicles are safe.
Right.
That parking is done properly so that we could maximize the space that we have.
Yeah.
Because one thing that could really, if persons don't park properly, it could really mess up the parking arrangements.
Exactly. Yes.
And
yes.
sometimes some persons are so inconsiderate. The way they park, and they just park in front of your vehicle and you can't leave. So we want to ensure we have police officers. They're managing that and ensuring that everything goes smoothly. So that is one of the important aspects of the security traffic plan, is that parking arrangements are made for those persons with VIP. So the officers will be on ground early enough. From 1 o'clock, we should be on ground. Before one, at least, but 1 o'clock we should be on ground. Do our briefing, do our sweeps, deploy, so that when persons begin to trickle in, that
Yeah.
there is a smooth transition. There's a smooth flow of things, and
Right,
there's no
right.
inconvenience. So
Okay.
that is what you should expect
Yeah.
constantly.
Okay, that's excellent. That's
Yeah.
excellent. Good to know.
The other aspect, from the traffic management perspective, because we understand that we will have heavy traffic flow on that day, what we always try to avoid, and you mentioned earlier that the arrangement, Super Jazz is family oriented. It's a family kind of activity. So where we'll have old and young children. So because of that, we try to control the interaction between vehicle and pedestrians. So because of that, we have set up a traffic plan where we will, from the northern end of the mini stadium, from Apito Road,
Right.
that's the concrete road heading down towards the Palmis Super Primary Bridge, that there will be no entry there. So vehicles will not be allowed to traverse down from the development down along the stadium main road towards
Okay.
Palmis. And vice versa, the other end from the Suffolk Fire Service direction coming up towards the mini stadium, vehicles will not be allowed to traverse towards the development. So
Okay.
there will be no entry. So then persons, the VIP persons will be allowed to traverse that area and go to the parking area.
Yes.
Because they need to enter through there. But unless you have a VIP parking, unless you have a VIP pass, you will not be able to go beyond those areas. So we want it to be free of traffic, where persons can walk freely, children can walk freely, and then there is, not that interaction and
Right. I think that's
competition-
very important. Yeah.
competition
It is.
between pedestrian and traffic. So that will be one of the major traffic management actions we will be taking on that day.
Okay.
Again, people can access the event from the two main entry points. The first one being, if you're coming from Canaries, if you're coming from Suffolk Town, you head in the direction of the Suffolk Fire Station. You turn right into the fire station road, up the Palmis Fire Service Road. That road will be converted into a one-way. So vehicle will only be allowed to go up, north and bound, and not head southbound. If you need
Understood.
to exit out of that area, you would have to go through the Forbenier Castries High Road, or follow the Palmis
To go up.
Palmis High Road onto the Castries High Road, Castries Suffolk High Road. We will be erecting the parking signs on one side of the road, so that the vehicles don't park on both sides. Because what happens is people feel they could park on both sides when they do get space, and that creates congestion and
Yes, it
difficulty.
does.
And we
Definitely.
also have the factor that we may have emergency vehicles that need to access that area. So we're gonna have no parking on one side of the road, and then vehicles will be permitted to park on the other side, the opposite side. So that will be for the normal patrons. If you come early, you will get the closest parking to the stadium.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So
yes.
so because of that, persons are encouraged to come in early to get your parking, and then walk to the stadium, which is about 2 minutes or minute walk from that area. The other main entry is through Marcy-Lapel New Development High Road. Vehicles will be allowed to enter into that road from the Fort Saint-Jacques. Vehicles coming from Fort Saint-Jacques or from Suffolk Town. You can head up to Marcy-Lapel, take a left into the new development, Marcy High Road.
Okay.
That road will also be converted into a one-way traffic. So vehicles will only be allowed to head southbound towards the stadium. And then now, when you get to the northern end of the stadium, you will not be allowed to go, like I said, to go down towards the Super Primary, but you will be diverted into Apito Road, which is the concrete road. And for most persons who know that area, Apito Road, and then that road is a ring road around the development. So
Yes.
from there, you could go all the way around and then exit back out from Marcella.
Right.
So again, one side of the road will be used for parking, while the other side will not be used. What will be kept clear for the free flow of traffic.
Okay.
So we will be from Saturday evening, we will be erecting all our traffic signs so that no persons believe that they can come and park early.
Yeah, that's great. That's great to know.
We will be erecting our signs to ensure that um, there is no congestion, there is no bottleneck, there's nobody causing any inconvenience to the traffic flow. We will be having quite a number of officers on the ground. We will be having our cyclists doing the checks. They will be working with the ticket books also. So persons
Okay.
who believe that they could just park anywhere, and
It's not a day for that.
It's not a day for that. They will be issuing tickets. So persons who are going to come there, you come to enjoy yourself, not to come back, after you've had a few beers and then to see you have a ticket on your car. We don't want that to happen.
Yeah,
to you. We
yeah,
want you to say, hey, I had fun. We don't want to spoil the taste of jazz
All right,
for
for
anybody.
anybody.
Right? We want everybody to say, hey, that was a fantastic show. That was a fantastic event. The traffic management plan was good. The security plan was good. The entertainment was good. The food was
Exactly.
good. The drink was good. And then you leave and say, hey, I had my money's worth.
Yeah.
So when you leave, you don't have no sour taste about
Exactly.
jazz.
And I think, sorry to cut you short, if I may, one of the other things I see, and I think I'm guilty of it as well, people who live in the vicinity of the stadium, you can walk to the stadium. It's okay.
Let me tell you, Miss Brown, one of the biggest challenges I have with Suferians is people work on Shasney, they work Ladera, they work Sugar Beach. They have a car. They have to take the
Yes.
staff bus on the morning.
Hmm.
They come to town with their car
Yes.
and they take all the parking in town from morning until evening,
Yes.
And then the ordinary, patrons or the ordinary person who just come and just do something, cannot find
You
parking
can't
in
find
town. I'm
parking.
like,
Yeah.
"Can't you
Yeah.
just leave home 5 minutes earlier, take a walk to town,
Yes.
take the staff bus. You don't have
Yeah.
to come down to town with your car."
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, it makes parking so much of a challenge in town. And yes, yes, we will say that people from the development, from partners, from just walk to the stadium. You don't have to come with your car.
Yes.
Just walk. And that is why we also want to make sure that there is an increased police presence. That the patrons can feel the presence of the police and feel like they're in a
Right.
safe environment. We will be bringing officers from the entire division to support this activity. And that is how we operate as an organization. I think the strength of the police force is not just you being a police officer, but our strength is primarily numbers.
Yes.
The more you have, the more comfortable you are to deal with a situation.
Correct.
So whenever we have those events, so for example, Sosa is going to have jazz tonight. We are supporting Sosa. Viewford is having Viewford Jazz in the park tomorrow, and officers from Sufra Shows and Library Makewood will be supporting that district, and
Right.
vice versa. Sufra is hosting on Sunday, so we are expecting officers from all those areas to come to support. They may not be at the main event, but they will be in the town of Sufra conducting patrols and supporting. Doing spot checks and traffic checks and stuff of that nature that will really help create that atmosphere of security and safety. So this is, some of the things we use to really enhance the experience
Yeah.
for events in Sufra.
Okay.
So yes, persons can feel free walk, and it's good. It's good exercise too.
Exactly.
It's good exercise.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we look forward to that activity. Again, like I said, some of the main areas, and for those persons who will be attending, and again, those staff at the hotels, we are kindly asking that at least you guys on Sunday don't come to town and take all the parking at the bus terminal in town. Leave it for those persons outside of Sufra.
Yes, because many people are
Yeah.
asking about that.
So leave
general
your car
admission.
at home, and walk to the bus to the bus stop. So at the end of the day, those persons who are going to come to Jazz will get some additional parking at the bus terminal. We'll get some additional parking near the Sufra Hospital. We'll get some additional parking, in the areas where traditionally, are used by those hotel staff. So we employ you all to please, try your best to keep your car at home so that those persons who are coming to Jazz
Yes,
can,
they can get a space.
can get some
Yeah.
space.
Yeah.
Also, the area by the copper factory, that white space there will be used for parking also. So there will
Okay.
be officers holding parking for non-VIP persons. So, and again, alongside both the Palmis Fire Service Road and the Development Road. Persons can park along that route. So I know we're expecting a bumper crowd. We're expecting
Yes.
a extremely large crowd, but we're hoping that those parking arrangements will be sufficient to be able to allow persons to park closely enough to the activity, and then not park in any way that will create some level of some safety issues for them
Right,
and their
right, right,
vehicles.
right.
So that is those are some of the arrangements
Okay.
we are making for the activity. So it will be a very hectic day
It's
for the
going to
police.
be very hectic
It's going to
for
be
you
a
guys.
hectic
I
day.
mean, it's been quite a journey to plan it and get to this point where we're literally, a couple of days away or a day or so away from jazz. So I know that the all the stakeholders, be it the vendors, Nemo, everybody has really played their part in creating Suffragaz and making it a success in the past 2 years. And we're hoping that it will be that way. I think I just want to reiterate your words in imploring the public to just come out and have a good and safe and clean fun. It's very important. And as I say clean, one of the points from the St. Lucia Tourism Authority was to also keep St. Lucia clean. And I noticed that after many of our events, you see that the mini stadium or wherever events are being held, it is completely littered. There will be bins strategically placed in and around the mini stadium. I am asking, if a bin is within sight, utilize it. If it is within sight, that means it's not too far away from you. You can simply just walk over to the bin and throw away your cup or reuse your cup. You can do that as well. So as to, just ensure that we keep St. Lucia clean. We play a little part in keeping St. Lucia clean. It was a very, very important note that we were given from the SLTA and from the Ministry of Tourism as it pertains to being more eco-friendly or eco-aware when we are having these events. So we really want to implore our patrons, please utilize the bins that will be placed around the mini stadium. Of course, as soon as Suffragaz is done, we only have a couple of days because the stadium is being utilized, of course, for its main purpose, which will be sporting events. And there are various sporting events coming up. So we want people to be aware of that. So the less work that we give to our sanitary workers, the better for us as well.
Yes, it's also important to note that, like you mentioned, the stadium is a sport facility, and we want to keep it as clean and as safe for those persons who will be using post Suffragaz.
Yes.
And one of the things, a few other things we discourage is one, the sale of drinks, and the vendors would like to reiterate that there should not be any sale of drinks in breakable bottles, right? Do not, because one, bottles can get broken and stick in the track that the children are using. It's both a football and track and field surface. So you would have children running, playing on there, and you don't want a child to be injured. And it could be your child,
Yes,
it could
yes,
be anybody's child on that day. So we strongly discourage the sale and use of breakable bottles on that day. My officers will be given special responsibility to look out for the vendors who insist, that they want to sell breakable bottles, and those that can be grounds for us to just have you ejected from the stadium. We don't care how much money you've paid, how much money you spent, because time and time again we've said it, and we still see it happening where vendors feel like they run out of cups and they
Right.
never account for they never cater for enough cups,
Yeah.
and then they run out of glasses, and then now they want to sell. And again, we encourage persons to try to reuse your plastic cups so
Yes,
that we
yes,
can
yes.
minimize the number of cups that we have to use on that day. Secondly, this is astroturf. This is a plastic turf. We will not encourage smoking and the use of fire. The fire service have done their part in terms of sensitizing the vendor on the best approach to preparing the food on that facility at that facility. It is our job now to ensure that the patrons
Yes.
do not smoke, light, use fire at that facility, because a single cigarette butt can can cause a catastrophe. Just
Yes,
imagine
definitely.
thousands of persons,
Yeah.
fire, and persons trying to flee,
Mm-hmm.
and you will have stampeding, and then you have all the craziness that comes with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That tooth is highly flammable.
Mm-hmm.
So we're asking persons, please, if you want to smoke, go somewhere that has no, plastic.
Yes.
We don't encourage smoking, but if you really feel, because I know all of us have our vices and we can't run away from them. If you really want to smoke, go in the grass area,
Mm-hmm.
have your smoke, and then don't smoke on the plastic too.
Yes. Yes.
Creating a risk for persons who will be in attendance.
Mm-hmm.
We have a few persons who have commented on our lives. Andy Justice said good morning to everyone. Good morning, Andy. One thing we have, some persons who are every show.
Every
is
show.
there,
Oh, that's great.
Yes, we have Andrew Edward Stoffick. Good morning, everyone. Uh, he has a nice picture of the pitons in his background. He has his
Mm-hmm.
DP. We have Sheldon Lionel. He's saying, good morning. Hi, Sheldon. How you doing? And then we have Nadia Casabon. Stay safe, stay hydrated. Oh, yes.
That's important
That
as
is
well.
important.
Yes. Suffrage Jazz is being sponsored by Blue Waters this year. They've come on board heavily. Of course, we will have Blue Waters in and around the stadium, and you please do take advantage of that. I think they're even bringing one of their trucks down as well. So they will be supplying the vendors. We have 25 vendors for Suffrage Jazz that will be in general admission. So we want to encourage you, yes, stay hydrated, and also you have an array and various options when it comes to vendors, whether it be for food and drink or for drinks alone. So please do patronize the vendors, help them out as well. Suffrage Jazz is about community, and I just want to plug that in there. It's not a private event. We on CMO are the producers of Suffrage Jazz. So we're a small team of 6 people headed by Methodius Clese. There's Jimmy Harrell, who does our decor. Myself, I do PR and marketing. There's Lysander, who takes care of logistics and all the heavy lifting. We also have Cyril Saltibus, and we have Windia Janai. Of course, we have Mr. Sam Ogier sitting on as well. So it's a very small team, 7 of us now. And we've really tried our best to put everything together for the people of Suffrage. It is for the people of Suffrage. And any profits made from Suffrage Jazz is directly injected back into the community through the Suffrage Regional Development Foundation and their various initiatives that we're all very well aware of. So we really want people to come out. We have the final pop-up tomorrow. That will be taking place at the Suffrage bus terminal from 7 a.m. We have very, very limited discounted tickets. So, of course, we have to print discounted tickets on it. So you would see the price on there, which is $130. So they're very limited discounted tickets. Once that is done, we are done. So please do not come at 12 p.m. We'll be there from 7 a.m. You'll hear Ricky's sound system. Follow the music. Find us. We're right there in the usual spot, and get your discounted tickets. Thereafter, tickets will be $150. We'll be selling tickets at the door as well, but we encourage you to get your tickets online, get it from SRDF, the sell outlets, and really, when you get there, you don't have to stand in line. You can just,
Yes,
come
and
in.
that is important.
Yes, yes.
From a security perspective, if you don't have your ticket, firstly, you have to go through the rush of
Yes.
trying to get that ticket.
Mhm.
And normally that line is an extremely
Very long.
line. And then you have to, after you have done that, have to go now through the entry line.
Exactly.
Which can sometimes, based on how late persons are in terms of getting a ticket and then crowding up, that line can take some time. So the earlier you have your ticket, the easier it is for you. And
Yes.
then if you really want the convenience then get a VIP ticket. You
Yeah.
have a separate gate, a separate entry parking arrangement.
Yes.
And you have your food and drinks catered.
Yeah.
Also,
Mhm.
get your VIP ticket, so then you save yourself all the stress and hassle of having to go through the lines and try to
And
get a parking and all that kind of thing. thing.
And what I was told is that in Soufrière, the VIP tickets are very limited. We have no more VIP tickets at the SRDF office. You can go to the cell. I think they have less than 20 tickets, VIP tickets there. So if you are interested in VIP, and trust me, you want to be interested in VIP. You have not done VIP if you haven't done VIP at Soufrière Jazz, and I put my name on that, okay? Because we really put a lot into it, from the decor, which is done, like I said, by Jimmy Harrell, Infinity Designs. He really pays attention to all of the patrons that would be coming to VIP, from, the adults to the older individuals who'd like to just have a comfortable seat. We have various levels as well, so you can take in the music, the sights, the sounds. This year we have, and I'm just going to go for it really, really quickly in terms of our food booths. We have Noodle Nirvana, which is the pasta station. We have Coastal Treasures, which will be the fish and seafood station. We have Sizzle at Sunset, which is the grill. We have Sweet Sensations, which is confectionery. We also have Magie Creole, which would serve local food. We have the charcuterie board, which is called Grazing. And we have Gourmet Getaway, which will be serving high-end food. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different food stations in the VIP.
Wow.
We have several bars. We have Hennessy coming on board. We have Barway come on board. We have Blue Waters. There's so much to do in VIP, and various areas where you can get that photo up. We also have the massage booth as well. So if you just want to relax and unwind, and the ambience is just going to be absolutely amazing. We don't call it a VIP section. It is a VIP village, because it's a whole side of the of the mini stadium that we're using. Yes.
And time is running out.
Yes, yes.
But one of the things I always highlight when I come on this show and I speak about the hosting of the event and the process and procedures and the of hosting events, people don't understand the amount of effort and work that goes into planning and executing an event of that magnitude. And I see so many promoters, as the inspector, you come across persons who want to, they believe, okay, so for Simone has done a fantastic job, at hosting jazz, so they want to host something, because they feel like, hey, they could pull a crowd, and Soufrière has become the entertainment hub, entertainment capital. So they feel they want to have a effect, they want to have an event. And then now, when you begin to lay out to them all the requirements,
Yes.
they begin to scratch their head and say, hey, I am nowhere close to being able to accomplish that. And some of them start late, they come to the police late, and then now they have to be rushing. So, and then that's why, and I've seen so many big events being promoted at the 11th hour had to be postponed or cancelled.
Yes.
Because the organizers, promoters could not meet the requirements needed for the loudspeaker permit.
Right.
So for CMO to be able to do that and do it over and over and over again, it just shows that the team behind it is a very committed, dedicated team. Because I see the stress Methodius go through when
Yes.
he's putting together those activities. I see the stress that all the other persons go through putting together such an event. So I just want to say kudos to y'all. And what is even more impressive is that from January, Simo had begun having the discussions with the stakeholders,
Yes.
saying, "Hey guys, we will be hosting or we plan on hosting Soufrière Jazz this year. We are. This is the first meeting. We have not have our lineup yet. We have not done this or that. But we want you now to begin putting things in place so the
Right.
vendors know that, hey, they have to get their help certificates and the relevant certificates
Yes.
before fire service do their site visit, the police put together a security plan, so that when everything comes together, it's just a fantastic, well-oiled machine, and that
Yes.
there is not last-minute craziness like we have seen with other events.
Yeah.
So I just want to say kudos to you. I want the public, as we end, to let them know that it will be a fantastic event. The police will be conducting, they're doing the patrols and checking on those persons who are bent on. Anyone who is there to have fun, you're going to have fun. But anyone who is bent on trouble, then we're going to make life difficult for you. And that is what we are here for
I
on
agree.
Sunday. So before we leave, Ms. Brown, any last thing from you?
Yes,
you know, to the
of course.
patrons?
I always have more to say, but just quickly, again, please do support the initiative. If you are supporting Suffragas, you are supporting community. You are supporting your children. You're supporting scholarships, training programs, you name it. That is what you're supporting when you come to Suffragas. Suffragas is the most value for money event in St. Lucia. $150, which is 9 artists, including 4 bands on one stage. And as soon as Suffragas is done, we are taking on Carnival. Suffrag Carnival is back. We have 6 wonderful ladies vying for the title of Carnival Queen 2025. And yes, of course, we will be ready for that. We are ready for that. So look forward to hearing from that as well.
It's just amazing how so much the preparation for Super Carnival. That's not even over yet.
Yeah, no,
And
we're
the
there.
preparation for Super Carnival, and then so next I expect Juneke, your preparation will be coming
Yeah.
soon. So it's just amazing the amount of effort and work that
Yes.
that you guys put into keeping those activities, alive in Sufra. Because I tell people, my policing ethos, my policing drive is to encourage and support any activity that I believe will build community, create economic development, stimulate commerce, help the poor among us, the vendors, the designers, all the stakeholders, at least, get a piece of the pie. And
Yes.
that's how we build a community, by creating that atmosphere where everybody can do their hustle and survive.
Right.
Where they don't have to depend on government for handout, but that they are actually doing what they love and they're making money from it. So for us, from a police perspective, this is the things we support. I tell my officers we have to support those activities. We have to put our best foot forward, because if we don't support the vendor who needs the money to send his or her child to school, because if she cannot get that money, then she will find, trust me, parents will find a way. And whether it's legal or illegal, they will find, because they have a sick child, they have a child sent to school,
Yes.
they will find. And that's when now you have situations where criminality thrives if they don't have the support of the community. And
Right,
I'm happy with what the SRDF is doing. I'm happy with what CMO is doing. I'm happy with what SUFRA is doing as a community. And I think that is why we continue to remain one of the safest communities,
Yes.
because this SRDF is really driving commerce and economic activity. We don't depend on the government to, we do it ourselves, and we do it well.
Definitely.
So I want to thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for
I think it was
having me.
indeed a pleasure. I suspect I'll have to invite you on. this
Yes,
show
you
more
can do
often,
that.
I see we have Francis Shalry. Have clean fun, everyone, and stay safe. Good morning, Francis. Yes, everyone, word of encouragement, word of advice, have clean, safe fun. For all my persons who are listening out there, always remember if you see something, say something. The police have put mechanisms in place to receive information anonymously. We have the 555 crime tip line, where anything you see that you believe is of a serious nature, contact that number. Your information will be collected anonymously, and a team will be deployed to respond to that information you have provided. However, 555 does not replace 999 and 911. So it's not for a traffic accident. It's not for, a fire. It's not for, but it's for information that you believe is of a sensitive nature, that you would not want ordinarily to go to the police and inform them. You want your name to remain anonymous. You provide that information. Drugs, fire, child abuse, domestic abuse, those kind of things we want. So there's the 555 tip line, where you could call. It's toll free at no cost. You call it, and then somebody will respond to your request. There's also the crime. There's an app, the crime tip app, where you could download it, the RCPF crime tip app. You can download it from iOS or Android, and then you could share information, but almost in the form of a text. And that information, your information, remains anonymous. However, a team will receive information and direct the relevant operational team to action that information. So again, I always repeat our policing principle that the police is the public and the public is the police. It is the duty of the public to support the police, and the police to do everything is in its power to continue to support and encourage a crime-free environment. So with that, I want to say a fantastic good day to all and have a clean, safe jazz weekend. Looking forward to our next police forum, the most educational law enforcement show on the island, the most exciting one where you could call in or provide your comments. Again, my office, Inspector Rennie, I have an open door policy. Any concerns that you have, feel free to come to my office and share whatever information that you have that you want addressed so that we can do it collectively. So with that, I will say thank you, everyone, and have a fantastic day, fantastic weekend. Good day, Ms. Brown. Enjoy yourself.
Thank you. You too.